Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm genuinely so excited to show you guys this build. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, Alchemist received a major set of buffs in this patch. I honestly think this hero might be number one in the patch, top 3. Okay, and I'm going to show you in today's video why. For a little bit of perspective, let me quickly show you the graphs throughout the game. At minute 10, I'm the Alchemist. At minute 10, look at the net worth. And you might be like, Speed, you're Alchemist. This is minute 10. Okay, at minute 20, I'm 7k up. And by the way, I'm an offlane Alchemist. Yes, you could say, oh, your Luna's poor and it's your fault. My Luna isn't a carry player. We'll get into that another time. But as you can see, the game continues on. I keep scaling. Eventually, I give an Aghanim Scepter to my Void Spirit, which is going to shoot his net worth up. And that's something cool about this hero, and we'll get into why that's broken as well. But let's talk about Dota a little bit. Dota has changed a lot. There are a lot of camps in Dota. A lot of camps. A lot of camps. And therefore, it's nice if you can farm a lot of camps. Now, I actually don't think Dota is going to come down to just only farming. I think a lot of people have this idea in their mind that there's so many camps that Dota is going to be a farm-only game. I don't necessarily think that this has to become the case. And the reason why I don't think this has to become the case is because there's a lot of ways to move around the map due to the outposts, due to the fact that it's really hard to de-ward. There's these portals. It's very easy to pick people off and fight in the current map setup, and the fact that there's less sentry wards, right? It's really hard to de-ward in this meta. Absurdly hard. And so farming is actually difficult. It's hard to not die. Like, it's hard to not die. The map's big, but it's hard to not die. And so I actually think that farming isn't necessarily OP. It might seem like it. I don't think it is. However, on Alchemist, I do think it is. And let's talk about it. I just want to let you guys know that there's so much in this patch, literally so much in this patch, that I'm going to be making. I want to cover everything here on YouTube. I want to make a video for every single new item, hero, blah, blah, blah. But there's just too much. I can't post all of that on YouTube. And the videos on YouTube need to be a bit higher quality and longer. Over on the website, I'm going to cover every little niche thing over the next few weeks, probably month, with how big this patch is. So if you're interested in getting ahead on the meta, winning more ranked games because you have better information than your peers, then you should sub to the website. It's 50% off right now, using code DOTA733. So that's the promo code. Go check it out, guys. Go sub to the website. It's literally so cheap, way less than a Netflix subscription. And I'm going to be posting high quality content, getting you ahead on the patch. So I'll see you there. So if you don't know what got changed about Alchemist, let me break it down. The major change to Alchemist is that Greevil's Greed is now a passive. Old Greevil's Greed scaled from 15 max gold to 18 to 21 to 24. This Greevil's Greed is just a flat 18. So you might be thinking, oh, so you can only get level 2 Greevil's Greed. That's not that good. The thing is, you have it at level 1. You have level 2 Greevil's Greed at level 1, and you get another ability. So at level 1, you're level 2. Arguably, you're level 3. And because it's a passive, you get double bounty rune gold. Double! So for every bounty rune, people get 40, you get 80. That's insane. You get 80 gold. You might be like, oh, that's not a big deal. It's just 40 extra gold. In the laning stage, that's a ton of gold. And it snowballs so hard. When you are level 2 at level 1, and they're level 1 at level 1, the laning stage is way easier. And now you might be thinking, but Greevil's Greed isn't much of a laning ability. It doesn't do damage. But it is, because it lets you get items, right? And the items allow you to play different. So I ended up getting First Blood in this game, which certainly helped. It's not very hard to get First Blood with Unstable Concoction. This ability is very powerful. It's a 1.7 second stun and does 150 max damage if you channel it for 5 seconds, and it gives you 4% bonus movement speed. You can take Acid at level 1 in harder lanes, but I knew against Chen Lifestealer I wouldn't have a hard time. Funny enough, Lifestealer might seem like an out counter, but I don't think it is. You get too much gold too quickly, and this guy can't pressure you at some point, and you'll see how that plays out. So in the laning stage, I'm going to pull aggro. If the Lifestealer tries to pressure me, I'll take out a concoction and I'll throw it at him. It's going to do a good amount of damage. I'll chip him down and you trade fine. Like, your hero does only have 3 armor, but with 2 gauntlets, a branch, and some tangos, you have no sustain issues. Also, because of the fact that I got First Blood and I got extra bonus gold for the bounties, and every last hit I get gives me a little bit of bonus gold, right? And it's not even kicking up yet because, right, I only got 6 gold for that last hit, right? It's only my second last hit of the lane, but now I get 9 for that one, and things are going to start to kick up. As long as I continue to be consistent with my CS, I'm going to get more and more gold, and things quickly snowball out of control. Now for every single last hit, I'm getting an extra bonus 15, now 18. Right? And that's without skilling Greevil's Greed. I mean, that's crazy, right? Like, there's no other way to put it besides I'm level 3 right now. Now I'm level 4 at level 2. You get what I'm saying, right? And this is not me over-exaggerating. That's literally what it is. literally what it is. And also, he has a new ability, which I'm going to get into later on. At first, I'm like, it's not that good. It's just like a passive. But at the end of the day, you have another ability, and it actually does a lot. But once again, we'll get into that later on. So mostly just pulling creep aggro. I have my acid spray. My Ench was getting destroyed by this Chen. I think Chen's broken, by the way. I'll get into that in another video, but I think Chen's actually broken. Pulling a lot of creep aggro, playing defensive. I'm not acid spraying right now because the creep wave pushed into me, so I don't need to. If the creep wave pushes up, you can acid spray to make sure that they can't zone you. Like, laning near the enemy tower can be a little bit hard, so you can put down acid to, like, prevent them from pressuring you. Also, because of the fact that Rage isn't spell immunity, it's, what do they call it now? What is it called? It gives you debuff immunity. You can still throw your concoction at a raged lifestealer, which I found out this game. I thought it was really funny. He also bought this blood grenade item, but every time he casts it on me, he takes 75 damage. So this was like some crap pickup from this guy. This is horrible. This item can be good. This blood rage thing, it's definitely not a bad item, but the way he was using it was really horrible. He was like killing himself. So from there, I rushed a Ring of Health, which is actually now only 700 gold, pretty damn cheap, and gives you 5.25 HP regen. It's a nerf from the 6.5, but honestly, it's an okay trade-off. It's really not bad at all. 2.5 regen feels like more than enough in most lanes to get through the landing stage. And so, if anything, getting it earlier lets that regen kick in earlier, and, well, you know, it's at some point, not at some point, it's gonna almost feel like the same amount of regen. But yeah, I pick up some boots here. Now I'm gonna go for a Vanguard. You don't have to go Vanguard. Like, honestly, I could have seen myself rushing mana boots in this lane. Like, this lane was so easy. I honestly think I could have rushed mana boots and just straight up bought a Radiance. Just Radiance mana boots. The Vanguard makes sure I'm basically unkillable and Lifestealer can't zone me out, but you can, if your game's really easy, just go mana boots Radiance, which I'll show you the mana boots in a bit. So as well, I'm gonna use this fruit dingy. I'm gonna pick up the fruit, and that gives me 125 mana when I want to activate it, and HP. So at this point, yeah, my spells are insane. I have level 2 acid spray, which also got buffed, by the way. This ability costs less mana, so it helps your mana pool. It is a lower cooldown per level, which is huge, the acid spray. It casts faster, which is nice. It's harder to cancel it, but it casts faster. The duration is slightly less, but that's really not a big deal. You don't really need 15 seconds most of the time. And it does an extra 5 damage per second, which adds up, right? It adds up. It certainly adds up. And so the Lifestealer can't contest me at all because he's sitting in minus armor, and I'm level 4, racking up 18 extra gold per last hit. And alas, I still have 2 maxed out abilities. And if you think Acid Spray level 2 and Unstable Concoction level 2 are a joke, you don't understand. Like, these abilities are ridiculous, and because of the, like, old Alk, if you wanted to go the pressure build, you would just run out of, like, you would kind of have to spam regen to get away with it, but now you don't. You can just go Vanguard, which is regen, but it's kind of different. But now you pick up the fruit thingy if you can get it, and then you go Vanguard, and then you go Mana Boost. And if you last hit pretty well, which I have First Blood once again, so things are a little bit jacked up, and I'm last hitting very well. But as long as you last hit well, your item timings are ridiculous. So now I'm going to pick up a Mana Boost next. Laning stage, I honestly feel like maybe I could have ran at this guy a bit more. I could have channeled more concoctions, which is why I'm kind of saying I could have rushed Mana Boots. I honestly feel like I didn't really need the Vanguard. I could have gotten away with the Ring of Health and then put more pressure with the boots, the Mana Boots. So maybe I should have won that. That's something I could have definitely tried. But yeah, it's very easy to lane. You can see, for instance, here, they want to kick me off this creep wave, right? But it's so easy to lane. Yes, this costs a lot of mana for me to do this, but I'm once again buying Mana Boots. And I just channel my concoction, and I can throw it at him, and he actually doesn't resist it because he gets magic resistance. He gets 80% magic resistance, but he doesn't resist my physical. So this guy last picked Lifestealer into my Alk and got completely pranked. I can throw the concoction at him. It does physical damage in the acid. He gets completely out farmed. Like, it's so funny. He completely got pranked. Then I got fed some mud golems. But look at my net worth. Oh my god, that's crazy. 1,200 gold advantage without killing this guy a single time is just crazy. And even without First Blood, it'd be like 800 gold, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not. I didn't need the First Blood. It's like, at this point, he's even getting low just from getting hit by a ton of acid. His options are getting pretty limited here, as he will go back to these, like, safe camps, which is pretty funny that you can do this now. You can, like, run around at these safe camps, but he's low HP, wasting his time. He dies to Void Spirit. And this guy's completely screwed. So yeah, we're about to hit level 6. We're going to take the tower with Enchantress, and here's where things get spicy. So what really got buffed about Alchemist is the option to camps that you have in the offlane. So Dire Alchemist is still the way to go, but even if you're on Radiant, if you are able to take the offlane tower and Radiant, you can farm these 2 camps together, and on the other side, you don't actually have to take the Dire jungle anymore. What you can do is you can farm this up, and I learned this over time. I didn't even know right here. Otherwise, I could have been more efficient here. But I ended up side pulling, but I really didn't need to do this. I could have... I'll show you what you're supposed to do in a minute. I figured it out mid-game. This was my first ranked game, by the way, on the patch. Like, I was completely just figuring... This is my first game of the patch. I'm just figuring things out. I got a broom handle neutral item, which is really great. A little bit of armor against the lifestealer, some damage. But here, you push in the wave, and then you run down to these camps, and these camps connect together. So you can acid spray them. And acid spray is a lower cooldown now. So you can acid spray the camps, and then acid spray the wave. This guy decided to be annoying and just try to steal the last hits, which he did, but whatever. It costed him all of his health. I nearly killed him. If I landed that concoction, he was dead. So he's playing a dangerous game. But look, you see how efficient this is? And then they push in the wave into you. So it's really great. He's going to push the wave into me in a minute. He'll push it in. Yeah, so, okay, he didn't hear because he got kicked out by Edge. But he pushes it in back to these camps. And I was kind of looking around. You can see my player perspective. I'm like looking around. I'm like, are the other camps good? Am I supposed to be farming these other camps? And I'm like, nah, you can't really connect them. And that's the reality. What you want to do is farm these 2 camps and then the 2 camps to the north. And that's it. You just rinse, repeat. Creep wave, camp to the south, camp to the north, creep wave. I stacked the camp as well with my acid here just to be a little efficient. So I'll get a little stack out here. And that's an 11-minute Radiance Vanguard. 11-minute Radiance Mana Boot Vanguard. I have 8.2k net worth. The only person who's close to me is a completely overfarmed Pugna who's 2, 1, and 0, and clearly is out. I don't know how he has so much net worth actually. Maybe I think he got the mid lane and the safe lane tower, so he really got like some major injections this game. But yeah, here we are, Radiance timing, and now all we do is the same thing but faster, right? Drag the camp together, Radiance it up, drag the wave to these camps, Radiance it up, and the gold just flows in. You don't really want to rotate. If you can stay in your lane, you stay in your lane. This was fortunately an easy game where I didn't get pressured out, but if you get kicked out the top, you get kicked out the top. I made a rotation into top here because they were just diving my team, and so I had the Radiance, and so, as I said, like, you don't want to make this play if you don't have to. Honestly, it ends up not really working out, unfortunately. I thought the Pugna would die, but he got glimpsed to safety, which, whatever, it is what it is. It was a good rotation. I get the Chen, it would have been a Pugna and a Chen, which would have been totally worth it, whatever. But we get kicked to top. It's not as efficient, but it's pretty damn close because you can still drag these camps together, right? So drag these camps together. I ended up going really defensive here, which was wrong, I think. You don't really want to jungle backwards. You want to try to jungle forwards if you can. And the reason why is you can drag these camps together as well, which is like, you can see how efficient the map is for Alk. It just is. Like, it's even fine on Radiant now because you can drag this one and this one together now on Radiant. So even on Radiant, you have the options to do this camp, and then these 2 if you want. You can do these 2, you can do these 2. Like, this Alk hero just has so many more options for, like, efficiency when it comes to acid, which is why I just think it's so broken. Like, as I go for the Coddle here and pick up a nice Coddle kill. Just got my Blink Dagger. You can go a lot of different builds. I think this build I'm showing you guys here today is pretty reliable. Go for the blinking. I can get active at this point. I ended up ignoring my team for the most part this game, just because I felt that it was my job to just farm the whole map. And that's partially why I go Boots of Travel here. I think the Boots of Travel are I think they're incredible, okay? But they're a little low damage with this build. That's the only problem. You don't hit very hard. I was trying to pick up the fruit. You don't hit very hard, but there's so many creeps on the map where if you go Boots of Travel, you just become a machine. Like, there's no other way to put it. I ended up TPing into a fight here. Once again, I'm kind of tempted never to show up to a fight because, like, there's so many creeps. It's like, if I never show up to a fight, I will get a billion GPM. Unironically, I'm currently at, what, 850, something like that. So I end up showing up to this fight, try to get a stun onto the lifestealer, didn't hit him, but he ends up having the TP out, which is not bad. So overall, you can see a very simple game plan. And this is why the bots are good, because you can show up to these fights with your blink bots, kind of look for a quick pickoff, and then immediately just push out the waves. You're really fast, so you can get there quickly. I clear up these 2 camps, and it's just the same thing. Rinse, repeat, drag camps together, and you can see how disgusting this is. It's disgusting. My team's taking a fight top. My team's actually kind of getting crushed this game. I don't really feel like, I mean, it's partially on me. Obviously, I'm just farming, so I'm not enabling the Luna to farm. But like, you're gonna have games where your other lanes are gonna do well as well, and it's just a wrap. Like, I don't even think the game will be close, like even remotely close. And by the way, the main timing you're trying to hit is your later timings, and I kind of learned that this game. I overforced the issue, and I actually think that kind of griefed me. Your hero really comes online at about 4 items. Like, Alk really wants to try. I mean, you can see I show up to the pickoff plays where I feel like I have a numbers advantage, partially why I like the bots, but for the most part, I'm looking towards that 4 item timing, at least that's what I'm going to be doing now as I go for a kill on the Cuddle here. I TP'd in, but unfortunately I saw the Chen creep, so it's a bit of a risky play. And at this point of the game, even though the game isn't looking too great because my team's a bit behind, I'm a literal tank at this point. I mean, 21,000 gold at minute 25. My inch got tilted here because I wasn't TPing, which he was kind of right about, not gonna lie. Cool little play you can make with Alchemist is when you have Boots of Travel, your TP is always gonna be 3 seconds, kind of nice thing. It won't get delayed with other people's TPs. And so what ends up happening here is I can channel the concoction. It's a 5-second channel time, so you can take it out before you TP, and then TP, and then blink in, and you can see right as I come in, it's already a 2-second channel time. I can throw it at him. I did let him get, I stunned kind of slow there, which nearly saved this guy. But yeah, eventually we take him out. Almost killed my inch, but eventually we take him out. I had to throw my concoction at Lifestealer here, but I'm a little bit too tanky. I had BKB, but I didn't want to pop it early. I knew I was fine. So yeah, we just continue to wrap around. I ended up seeing the Coddle mid here, which I thought was a good read. He was kind of isolated from his team. We take him out. Nice little kill here. Beautiful. I end up going Manta style this game because it's good for purging Decrep and Solar Bind and Open Wounds and Penitence and Poison Touch. Like, I can dispel anything, and it does allow me to cut waves. I think I used it poorly this game. Like, I needed to cut more waves, but I think generally instead of this Manta, just buy an Assault Kuros and BKB. Then from there, after you go AC BKB, just finish your Vanguard and turn it into Abyssal. That's part of the reason why this Vanguard's so good. It turns into Abyssal later on, which is obviously a great item on Alk, so I definitely think that I would basically go the same items this game, but with AC. AC also helps your massive armor problems. Manta gives you some agi for it, but it's just not enough. Like, it certainly does not solve the problem in most games. So, yeah, it's definitely better. But we get our boots up, go for a little gank on the side lane here, kill the Coddle, very nice. And as I said, really the main timing here is the Assault Kuros. All right, so right here is the game-turning fight on my Assault Kuros timing. I hit level 20, and I want to quickly talk about the talents. At level 10, non-negotiable, 125 unstable concoction radius. It makes the concoction hit 2-man stuns pretty reliably. Then at level 15, you get this really broken talent that just got buffed. It used to be 1.5 damage per Grievous Greed stack, and it would give you 1.5 times 24 damage. Now you get 3 times 18. Way better. So at this point, what this talent's giving me is 54 damage. 54 damage, yeah, it's giving me 54 damage. 54 damage talent on Alchemist. And then at level 20, he got this talent. I like the other one. The Unstable Concoction max damage is good, but base attack time just makes too much sense when you're going a full right-click build. So now I get the base attack time, and I can kind of just load up on damage, right? And now we have the Assault Kuros. I'm very tanky as well, and we're able to hit a backstab here, right? I take out my concoction. I identified that this game, I need to target the Pugna. That's my key target. If I go on anyone else, the Pugna will be able to save them too easily with the Crep. It's too low of a cooldown save. At least if someone gets graved, it's not that bad, right? If they get graved, it's like, whatever. You know, they're going to be low HP afterwards. So I find the concoction onto the Pugna. Horrible positioning from Pugna. Not going to get. We find the Pugna. Then from there, we have to kite out a bit. Just kind of want to wait our concoction. Lifestealer unfortunately counters me, so I can't just YOLO forward. I can't just man fight the guys, so I have to kite out the Lifestealer a bit. Eventually we will. Wait for their dots to wear off on me. Get another concoction. Go in and kill the Dazzle. And here's where this hero feels way better, okay? Old Alchemist right here would have ran into a major problem. If you don't know what that major problem is after you go on them, if you don't burst them in the initial stun, you would always get kited. The reason why you would always get kited is your hero, after it stuns them, how does it stay on top of them? Sven can burst people, TP by Scotty. You might be like, oh, you should have a Basher. I agree, my Manta should be an Abyssal Blade, that would help that a bit. However, the reason why I didn't even truly need Abyssal Blade this game, and it's not nearly as necessary as it was before, even though it's still good to make sure you can chain stun people, and you can, the reason why Abyssal is so good on Al is you can blink in, Abyssal them, let the stun channel a bit, make the stun better, and then throw the stun. So I will admit, I think Abyssal is pretty core on this hero, but because of the fact that the passive slows them, so if you don't know what it does, every time you hit someone, it slows them for 6%, and you get up to 11 stacks, so you can slow them for up to 66%. On top of that, per stack, you reduce their status resistance by 6%. 6%. So I can make them get stunned for 66% longer. That's not exactly how the math checks out, actually. I don't truly know exactly how the status resistance reduction works, but you reduce their status resistance by 66%. I don't know, once again, I don't know exactly what that means, but I can imagine it makes stuns last for way longer, and it does. It makes anyone who follows up your right clicks stun for way longer. And in a meta where every stun is nerfed, that allows you to actually chain stun people. It doesn't truly happen this game because my team literally has almost no follow-up stun. We do have Void Spirit, which maybe we'll see an example. I can find an example and we can kind of put it to the test. But as I jump in on Dazzle, they have a heal strat here. They got this like really wacky heal strat. And so I couldn't burst him because of the heal strat. He just gets healed, 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 healed. Then he gets infested. But look, because I'm hitting him, he has 9 stacks on my thing. Status resistance. Why is this movement speed decreased by 83? Yeah, I don't know why it says that, but maybe it's a bug. I don't know. But I keep hitting him and yeah, why is it 109% stat? Maybe it's bugged. I have no idea. Maybe the 6% stacks on top of the other 6%. Whatever, I'm not going to try to figure it out, guys. You can let me know in the comments if you get it. But usually I'd get kited here because he would walk away. Right? He'd walk away. But new Alk, nope, doesn't walk away. He has 100 movement speed and he dies. And really, this changes the fight. It changes the fight. It just changes the fight. And by the way, oh, he gets silenced here. Here's an example. This Void Spirit of Axe, he gets silenced. This is a 2-second silence, okay? This is supposed to be a 2-second silence. Let's see how long this silences him for. Okay, so he's gonna get hit by it in a moment here, right? I really wanna try to catch it exactly as it hits him. Oh, I can't click on it, okay. But this is not a 2-second silence. I'm gonna play it in 1 time speed from here. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be about 4 seconds. Crazy, right? I mean, just crazy. It's actually so good. And same thing on Lifestealer. I kite him out a bit here. He's forced to BKB. I throw my concoction at Chen. It's easy to chase him down as well. And yeah, we end up winning the fight convincingly, and this turned the game around, right? Completely turned the game around. And at this point, you might be like, oh, you're slotted out. This is where Alk falls off. But I still can buy my shard. I can still upgrade my blink. I can still upgrade my bots. I can get a new neutral item, and I can buy Ags for every one of my teammates. I can buy, most importantly, Void Spirit Ags. Second most importantly, I can give it to Disruptor, and Ench Ags is good too. Even Luna Ags, as the game progresses, is very powerful. And when you give people Ags, it gives you a bonus right-click damage. It's not a lot, it's only 25, so it's not like truly that big of a deal. But if you give out 4 Ags, 100 damage, sure, you know, show up. Sure. So what I end up doing here, I think I upgrade my Blink, or I give Ags to Void Spirit, I don't remember. We end up taking Roche. Yeah, I think I give Ags to Void Spirit. And the reason why it's so broken is if someone on your team buys an Ags and you give them an Ags, it gives them the stat of the Ags, so they keep the all stats. Like, for instance, if you upgrade to Aghanim's Blessing, the normal Dota item, you lose the HP, mana, and 10 all stats from Ags. A lot of people don't know that. You do. You lose it, which is why you should never upgrade that item early. It ruins buyback and you lose the stats. You should never upgrade Ags early. Like, it's horrible. However, with Alk, completely gets rid of that problem. You keep the stats and you get all of the gold back. It's completely broken. So this Void Spirit, who's like kind of looking for some later timings, as we'll get into this fight quickly here. So I jump the Dazzle, we slow him up. He gets, you know, slowed for 1 billion years, this is my thing. He can get out with the Boots of Bearing. So obviously things like Greaves and Boots of Bearing are a bit of a problem for the passive, but you know, it is what it is. You constantly reapply it though, so it's not too bad. As I just like, I just whack into them. So dirty. We find the Lifestealer as well. He tries to TP out, but we just chunk him down. Crazy. Pushing top here. Oh yeah, I upgraded my Blink before I even gave the Axe. And with the bots, you just like fight ends. You can notice, I don't care about the tower. Fight ends, I'm like, I know my job. Hit the next item, hit the next Axe, just like ruin the game's net worth. Like you completely break the game. I know that's what I need to do. I don't need to take some random tier 2. Like, yes, taking the first tier 2 of the game, I think still helps with the outpost. I'm pretty sure, I think. I know just hitting my next timing is pretty dirty as we break this monster thingy. We get someone a shard. Who got the shards here? Ench got one and Void Spirit got one. That's weird. I don't really know exactly how that works. But we're gonna buy the Ags, we're gonna get to him, and you'll see like he buys his Deso, right? And so he's not gonna scale too well with the Deso yet. This build's a bit sus, like Kaiasan or Deso. But when he hits Daedalus, then you have 2 right-click items. When you get 2 right-click items, they enable each other, right? That's always how it works. 2 right-click items is way stronger than like the items individually. You know, just how it works. Most of them, you know, because of attack speed working with damage and minus armor working with other damage and so on and so on. So he ends up now just getting 4,200 gold, keeps the Ag stat, so it doesn't hurt his mana pool or anything like that. And now he just buys a full Daedalus, and you'll see that come online in a bit. Like, we're gonna go on this Lifestealer, and they're just gonna die. I think it happens in a moment. This play was insane. So we smoked a top. I think we find the Coddle. No, we find the Chen. Yeah, so we killed Chen, and then my bots are back up already. Such a low cooldown. So I'm gonna bots to bottom. Here, I see my Void Spirit. I push in the wave. Gonna bots to bottom, and we have a ward here, so I'm able to jump the ward. And look at this. We hit a 2-man stun. that's the unstable concoction radius, right? I threw it at Pugna and it hit the lifestealer there. It might have hit him without it, but it's not even close with it. So he hit a 2-man stun. I'm like, oh, we'll just burst the Pugna. But then my lifestealer as a Daedalus, and this guy's like, what the hell? He's in the acid. I have an AC. The Deso applies. It just gets destroyed. The lifestealer dies to Alk plus Void Spirit. Like, who would have guessed? But the Void Spirit's completely jacked up. I have 34,000 gold, and yeah, we find the Caudal. At this point, I just need to buy my Shard. The reason why the Shard is good is I can dispel everything. What it does is it dispels the Decrep, the Poison Touch, the Solar Bind, everything that Manta dispels, the Shard dispels, which is kind of why I didn't need Manta this game. I could have just went like ACE, Abyssal, and then Shard, and Shard would have been nice. The Manta is good for cutting waves, and that's why it can be nice, but I don't really feel like I truly needed it. I end up getting Spell Prism as well, which is pretty nice. The Spell Prism has just worked so well with Overwhelming Bling, TP, BKB, concoctions, etc., etc. It's really nice, I know. And you get to choose your neutral item, which is really cool now. Like, I love that. I think it's such an awesome change. I'm such a big fan of that change. I think it's really, really cool. As, yeah, this game just about ends here. They can't fight us. We're way too strong on our Death Bell. Luna eventually got some space this game. As we kind of hit up the throne. I think we end up turning here. The Lifestealer tries to go in. We're going to jump the Caudal on the side. He got glimpsed, but whatever. And look, we slow him up. You know what I mean? Like, even without the Enchantress slowing him, we just get on top of him and he can't move. To be fair, I think this guy's item build like sucks. He should have like a Ghost or a Force or something like that, but he doesn't, and so he gets destroyed. Same thing with the Dazzle. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the game. This was a pretty close game, but I wasn't that concerned as we just go in again and destroy them. 1,000 GPM. More than 1,000 GPM because I gave away an Axe, so I would have had like 1,100 GPM. And that's just going to be the name of the game. I really think that I didn't farm optimally this game. Not a chance. I didn't know where the camps were. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even farm as close to optimally as I could. I think I messed up the item build, and I still felt that this was straight up insane. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you're inspired. Go grief some games on Alchemist. Give it a little bit of a chance. Try to learn, really learn the hero, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.